And welcome back to Car Juice. Today I'm going to be giving you guys the squeeze on the 2026 Lexus IS 350. It's got a full redesign and it looks pretty darn good, if I say so myself. Let's get right into it, shall we? There's something to be said about a fresh face, and the same can be said for the 2026 Lexus IS 350. This particular one is the F-Sport model and has a lot of new things for the 2026 model year, most notably the exhaust. It also has a very nice new spoiler, a nice new LED light bar that goes along the back here that looks very similar to the new ES350, which they absolutely killed on, by the way. It also has a new face, which we'll touch on here in a moment, and it has some really sharp looking black badges, and just overall a couple of cool things on the interior that make this video worth watching. In today's video, we're gonna be going over all of those things, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So the IS350, it actually kept a lot of the things that it needed to be a fantastic car. Namely, the gigantic 3.5 liter V6 motor underneath the hood. It makes this thing really stand out in a world of 2 liter 4 cylinders at this $50,000 price point. The next largest displacement engine is the Genesis G70 in this category with a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making about the same amount of power as this thing does. So that begs the question of, if you could have a 3.5 liter V6, why not have a 3.5 liter V6 at that $50,000 price point? The vehicle that has been loaned to me today is from my friends at Performance Lexus. If you guys are in the market for a Lexus or anything along those lines, check out their website, which will be linked down in the description below, and ask for my friend Austin at the dealership. The base MSRP on the Lexus IS 350 is $47,500. This one has a couple of nice upgrades to it, such as the panoramic view mirror, intuitive parking assist. A lot more of these like standard safety features have finally been added for the IS 350. It's always felt a little bit more outdated, and it finally feels like it's been brought into the modern world. But it's also got a premium paint, more on that here in a second. We've also got USB chargers, black badge upgrade, and wheel locks. That brings the entire MSRP of this particular car to $51,992. It's got a 3.5 liter V6, as we mentioned previously, mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, getting you 22 miles per gallon combined on the city and highway. City is 19 and 26 on the interstate. So overall, the nice thing about this is the fact that it still has a V6 in a world full of 4 cylinders. It still honestly looks really good, and you have a nice, reliable engine with all-wheel drive. The face is very pretty for the 2026 model year. It looks kind of more a little bit like the Camry with the nose piece here compared to the previous generation that was, refreshed just a couple of years ago. But I like it. It's got that like similar GR Corolla style vibe. New for 26 also are these upgraded wheels. These particular ones are nice kind of gloss black, and we've got Bridgestone tires wrapped on all 4 corners. The nice thing about these wheels is that they're also relatively affordable to swap out whenever you have to replace them. We've got 235/40 by 19s here in the front, and then I think that these run a staggered setup. No, we've actually got 235/40 by 19s here in the back. So that is gonna let this thing slip out a little bit in inclement weather. You can't fully disable the traction control on the IS 350, but it's going to be very affordable to maintain and just a nice, reliable daily driver. That's the thing that Lexus has always done well, is they just make it very easy to live with their cars, and they're also significantly cheaper than other options at this level. The Genesis GV70, which again is a 4-cylinder, at this price point is gonna be about equivalently optioned, potentially a little bit less reliable because of, the Kia Hyundai Group's issues with their motors in the past, and is not going to hold its value the same way that a Lexus would. A BMW is gonna handle a little bit better than this, but it's gonna have a smaller displacement engine, and you're also going to have a good amount of depreciation. This is probably not gonna handle the same way as a 330, but it's gonna cost a lot less to maintain. If you want a luxury car and you want it affordably, get a Lexus. That is what it's always been for. But let's check out the back seat. We've got 3 inches or so of headroom in the back. And then in the legroom department, we've got about 5 or so inches of legroom here in the rear as well. You also have a nice little cubby here to stuff things in. And then you have 2 USB Type-Cs here in the back of the car as well. So if you've got your devices, you can charge them up. You've also got a nice little vent here in the back to keep you nice and cool while you're driving around. And then, yeah, I was sitting behind a 5'8" driver, and then sitting with the seat put all the way in the back with a 5'8" rear passenger. passenger, you could fit somebody that's 6'3" in the back, but the legroom is going to be a little bit tight. Overall, door cards in the back of the car are nice. You've got a soft touch material here on the top. It's kind of a fake leather material, and then you have a nice, more leatherette type material here on the door card, and then a real leather here on the bottom, which is very soft and supple. You've got your extra stitch lines here, which look fantastic, and then you have a good feeling door card that actually just feels good whenever you grab onto that door handle. It just feels, you know, purposeful and not like it's about to fall apart in your hand. The seats on Lexus make the nicest seats. They're just so comfortable. They've got a nice perforated leather material. These breathe and stay nice and cool during the summer, even though they're black. And then in the back, you have a pop-out cup holder, which is one of the coolest cup holders I've seen in the back of a car in quite some time. And then these seats do fold down. You're just gonna pull this button here in the top corner and the seat is going to lay flat. It doesn't lay perfectly flat with those seats down, but at least you can put both of them down at the same time. And if you guys are repeat viewers of the channel, you'll know what comes next. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that would be our car camping test. Let's see how this thing performs. I mean, it's got lumbar support, which is nice. This is really funny. Yeah, so my lower back is immaculately supported in the back of this thing. I can lay fully flat and the back of my head is supported, which does get at a couple of points. Sitting behind myself, I've got probably 6 or 7 inches or so of headroom, which is fantastic for your longer excursions. The downside is that you're going to have the most ridiculous amount of middle back support that you could possibly have. The back seat and the trunk are honestly both very plentiful and they're quite nice for a sedan of this size, but this might be one of the worst car camping scores that I've ever given. If you could find something to extend into the trunk to make it perfectly flat, it could honestly be a lot better. So just keep that in mind if you're planning on sleeping in the back of your Lexus IS 350. While we're looking around in the back of the Lexus, let's go ahead and take a look underneath. You actually have a nice spare tire here in the back of this car, which is great. It's not just a standard fix-a-flat kit. So if you are on a road trip, you can at least make sure that you can replace your spare tire on the side of the road if you need to. Additionally, you've got plenty of storage here in the back, little first aid kit because this was added on from the factory. And then you've got cargo hooks in the bottom of each corner. You can't put the seats down from the back. You are going to need to do that from the second row seat. And this one is not equipped with the upgraded power closed tailgate. Not that big of a deal for me personally, but if you are a peasant that doesn't like to get your dirty hands muddled, that is going to be something that you want to keep in mind. We have a real sunroof that does open, which is a hot commodity and now in today's environment, and more cars aren't doing an opening sunroof, so that's pretty nice. And the paint is absolutely gorgeous on this guy. This is a very gorgeous paint. We've got a ton of metallic flake. That's something that Lexus does better than pretty much any other manufacturer, and I think that it really pops well against these black wheels. Let's go ahead and take a look at the driver door card. We've got the same soft touch material here on the door. We've got kind of the more fabric-y feeling material there, and then a more soft touchy feeling there, and then a slightly less soft touch feeling the higher you go on the door. Door handle still feels like, you know, decent, very solid. And then we've got power folding mirrors button here in the front where you can, you know, click that and they'll fold in. The mirrors do have blind spot monitoring, which is great, and then all of the windows are one touch up and down on this car too, which is also to be expected on a luxury car. So glad that it has that. The steering wheel's nice. This one does not have kind of any kind of crazy perforations on it, but it feels good, it fits good. It'd be cool if it had a flat bottom steering wheel, but it looks good and feels good. We've got more soft touch down here on the bottom. This is a very high point for me because I feel like a lot of manufacturers forget that. And then you have a camera view button that you can activate your 360-degree camera from this portion, and then your trunk popper down here on the bottom. We have a soft touch dashboard. It's one of the softest touching over dashboards that I've actually ever felt. It's so nice. And then more soft touch here in front of the passenger. An LED light bar that runs underneath, and then new for 2026, you have a pretty nice big screen here, and then you have a digital gauge cluster. Previously, this was an adjustable gauge cluster that would move left and right if you wanted to adjust it as you'd switch between the different modes, but it's all full digital now and does look pretty darn cool. One of my favorite things in this car is how good the center console looks though. This is almost like a forged carbon look, and then you have real physical gauge cluster for your climate controls. You've got physical buttons. It's just so nice. This is a massive improvement over the previous generation that would basically just have a little slidey roller bar there for your finger. This is perfect. Lexus, please never get rid of this. The screen is gigantic. It's got all of your, standard features that you would want, blind spot monitoring, recording from the dash cam. So if you were to fall asleep or anything like that while you're driving this car at night, it's going to make sure that you stay awake brake and keep you alert and awake, which is fantastic. Driver's seating position is pretty good. These seats are nice and comfortable. No complaints whatsoever about the seats on this guy. As far as, steering wheel goes, it is a power steering wheel, which is also fantastic. And then a good, nice sunroof. You've got dual microphones here inside of the car as well, making it nice and easy to hear whenever you're taking calls on the road. Some other features inside of the cabin is this dual USB Type-C setup, and then you have a wireless phone charger down here at the bottom, so you can keep your phone nice and charged whenever you're driving around. Nice snow button, so if you're taking this out, it'll limit the power and make it a little bit smoother as you're going through, and a brake hold, which is great. The transmission is still a nice old school style transmission selector. It just moves physically, which is cool. It's not some little dial. And then you have a decent sounding audio system as well. Yeah, not too bad. And then a little roller wheel to adjust it. The ventilated seats are also a must-have on the IS350. This one, unfortunately, is not equipped with them, but Lexus makes some of the best ventilated seats in the game. Looking in here, we've got a good-sized center console with a 12-volt cigarette lighter down here in the center, and then you have two cup holders here sitting between you and the passenger. But that is everything that I'm going to touch on here right now. Let's go ahead and put you guys up on the dashboard and another version you guys here on the window. We're going to take this thing on a quick spin. All right. In the driver's seat of the 2026 Lexus IS 350. She's nice, she's calm, she does everything that you'd want. It's just, Lexus has always made the perfect daily driver from a sport sedan, luxury sedan's perspective. It's just a very nice, affordable, well-optioned car, good all-wheel drive, low on maintenance, and just does a good job at making sure that you're going to be able to get in the car, it'll turn on every time, and it's going to be very good on the resale market as well. And you get a lot for your money, especially now that you have a new redesigned interior with Toyota's new display setup in here, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and all of the other features you want, wireless charger, dual USB Type-Cs, and it still maintains overall pretty good pickup. Whenever you kick this thing into Sport Plus, you get a bit more exhaust noise inside of the cabin, which is all in all a good thing. It's got a bit of kind of piped in audio noise, which kind of straight pipes did give them a hard time for, but I'm not that against piped in audio noise whenever it actually matches. It's not super loud on the outside, and it is a little bit kind of loud whenever you're just driving it around, but all in all, it's not a really big complaint for me. I'm happy that it's got all-wheel drive, and genuinely, my dad had a 2014 Lexus IS 350. I had a video I did on a 2024 Lexus IS 350 that I'll try to remember to put down in the description, and this car has just stayed really good. They've done some minor improvements to it to continue to kind of hone its craft. I really wish that this one had the ventilated seats. That's one of my absolute favorite options on this car. The new setup as far as the infotainment setup goes, the transmission tuning feels really good, and the fact that you still have an opening sunroof that just works. And you have a lot more modern safety features such as, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, which are options on other vehicles in this segment. As far as things that go, it's not bad. The only thing I would say maybe is that this is going to get a little bit worse gas mileage than a four-cylinder would at this horsepower output, but it sounds good. The body roll, pretty good, as she's nice and sporty. And it takes corners well. I would love to try out the 8-speed that they have in the rear-wheel drive IS 350 version that this car does come in. I've not driven the rear-wheel drive variant yet. It's, just kind of hard to get your hands on one of those here in the Midwest where I live, but the all-wheel drive is pretty good. It's very good in the snow. My dad would drive his car, pretty much any weather, and it would do him very well on a day-to-day driver perspective. 0 to 60 still right in that 6-second range. It does genuinely sound really good, and the seats are comfortable, and it's again going to be very low maintenance. If you were looking for a luxury daily driver, I think that this is probably a pretty solid pick in this segment, especially, again, at the $52,000 price point that this one's spec'd as. How I would option it would probably get closer to that, 56-ish range. The nice thing is whenever you go to sell it, these hold their value pretty well, and I think that you would do very well in the secondhand market whenever you get ready to move on to your next one. Overall warranty is also very good at the IS 350, so you're probably not going to need to use it because it's got that lovely Toyota engineering. I like the redesign. I like how they keep things fresh inside of the car, and it It rolls through the corners. It's nice and comfortable and quiet. If you picked up one that has a little bit more of the beefed up kind of trim level, the ambient exhaust noise will actually throw in some kind of pops and cracks and burbles, and I also think that is genuinely kind of cool. I wish that this one had that Sport Plus. Overall, I would give this thing, you know, solid 7.8, 7.9 even. It's just gonna be a good, reliable car for somebody that's looking for a good, reliable car to do sales in, drive a lot of miles, and occasionally have some fun and take your wife or your girlfriend out on a nice date. And it still has all-wheel drive, and it sounds good, and you got the V6 in 2026. Good heaven, all gracious, all heavens almighty. That is gonna be where I wrap up today's video on the Lexus IS 350. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. If you guys did like it, make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I put a new video out pretty much every single Sunday, as long as I possibly can get a hold of a vehicle. And if you're interested in me reviewing your car in the future, leave a comment down below, and I would love to connect with you if you're in the Cincinnati area. But yeah, guys, this was the squeeze on the 2026 Lexus IS 350. Thank you for watching.